Dad needs. Dad might have a better idea, but the Glock Store gift card in any denomination is going to be Dad's favorite option. You can use them for a specific activity, like a 1-hour range session with a private instructor, including a firearm rental, or you could use it to get Dad another Glock, even if he has 1 or 2 or 10. There's never anything wrong. You know what my favorite gun is? The next one I get. So I can assure you your dad feels the same way. From there, you could have your dad grab some great gear. You could get some performance parts, suppressors, all the things, and you do it with the gift cards at the Glock Store. If you don't know exactly what to get Dad, I'm telling you right now, you can't go wrong with a Glock Store gift card. It's the Dad's Day gift of choice. I guarantee your dad's going to love it. Virginia, if you're listening, I would love it as well. That's the Glock Store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, always open online, glockstore.com.
Up ahead, the crazy, amazing story of how a drone brought down a U.S. Apache helicopter this week. We've got it coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. So, anger from the Irish last night. If you're watching us on Super Talk TV on YouTube, which we got up a little bit late, Mason got distracted with all the books that Dan likes to read.
It was running. You were just on Dan's old stream.
Oh. Allegedly. We're talking about what happened in Belfast, Northern Ireland. On Monday night, a Sudanese man, 30-year-old Sudanese national, quintessentially Irish, an asylum seeker had been granted leave to remain. He tried to saw a dude's head off in the middle of the street. Authorities don't want to jump to any conclusions. They're not labeling it terrorism just yet. Okay. And the locals have been pissed. We're seeing raw, decentralized anger from people who say enough. I think that we can all agree that arson and rioting isn't the right answer. But leaders are calling for calm and rule of law. But they're ignoring the root causes of what's happening here. Failed border control, assimilation issues, and a sense that the system in Europe in particular protects newcomers over natives, and the locals are pissed. And it does make it seem like this is a powder keg and that we are one migrant issue away from just full-on revolution out there. And I asked the question earlier, and I'll ask it again. I want you to weigh in. If I would root for the Iranians to overthrow their radical government, should I be allowed to root for the Irish or the British or the Europeans to overthrow their radical governments? 615-737-9986. We'll take your calls next. It's 9:31. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and we have new information about the Iranian attack on an Apache helicopter in the Strait of Hormuz this week. Trey Yingst reporting with Fox News that he spoke exclusively with President Trump this morning.
President Trump tells Fox News that the Iranian drone lodged in between the two pilots in this helicopter. They were flying very low. And at that point, the drone didn't explode as it had intended to. And so these pilots were trying to take down the helicopter with the drone lodged into this gunship without it exploding. And at any moment, it could have exploded, the president told me. And he said it was on fire. There was a lot of heat inside the cockpit.
Yeah, eventually the pilots did put the chopper down. They were rescued by an unmanned drone boat used for the first time in history. President Trump also saying he may decide to perform more precision strikes on Iran's infrastructure because of the Apache attack and because Iran continues to stall at the negotiating table. Here in Tennessee, the Democratic Party dropping its federal lawsuit over the state's new congressional maps. Party leaders say they made the decision because they couldn't get a fast ruling in time to impact the 2026 elections. A federal judge already allowed those maps to stay in place for now. Democrats say they'll shift their focus to the ballot box while other legal challenges continue. And Bonnaroo gets underway today. The traffic detours, however, Bonnaroo gets underway tomorrow, but the traffic detours start today. Travelers should know that I-24 exit 111 in Manchester is the official festival exit. Use alternate exits to get around that. Also, watch for temporary communications towers to help improve emergency communications within the city. Bonnaroo continues Thursday through Sunday. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and I got to give him my full seal of approval on a piece of brand new tech. Nobody can touch what Dr. Mitchell is doing when it comes to healing and cutting-edge technology, and they've done it again, the brand new Medical Bay 1. You've been hearing us talk about it for a couple weeks, but let me remind you what this thing exactly is. It's a futuristic healing machine designed by Dr. Mitch himself. You sit back in this pod, and you get a full-body massage while red light, near-infrared, and photon wavelengths light up your cells, stimulating your stem cells for real tissue regeneration, exactly how God designed them to respond. This is absolutely epic healing. On top of that, they still have their exclusive non-surgical spinal decompression. They do it better than anybody else. What they won't offer you is opioids that will mask the pain, painful injections, or surgery. Right now, they're running the Epic Spinal Special, which is $33 off each visit. Your pain-free life is a click or a call away. 615-246-5009 or painisbad.com. That's 615-246-5009 or painisbad.com. Go see them. Enjoy your summer. Thank me later. Painisbad.com. "37 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I've been asking, should I play this video on the YouTube stream? I have a video of an African migrant trying to behead a white man in North Belfast, Ireland. The video is very, very graphic. If you're watching on the stream, I'll start with this photo because I mean, even some of the most harsh meme counts, I would say, like the ones that really don't give a you know what, like end wokeness. They were like, the video's too harsh to post. What do you think, Mason? Is that going to get us kicked off of the YT?
Probably.
You think so? Should we do it anyway?
It's up to you. I'm here for it.
I mean, he was sawing at that guy's head. So I don't know. I'm torn. I could do it. If for some reason you want to see it, I could also send you the link.
I think that's a safer option.
All right, we'll stick with that.
But that image is already pretty
graphic.
Yeah.
I mean, and that guy's head's blurred out. You know, I mean, his face was covered in blood. He had been stabbed in his head, neck, face, eyes, and back with a kitchen knife. The part of the video that was grotesque was the sawing motion. The reaction part that was grotesque was the government saying, let's not jump to the conclusion that this is terrorism. Okay. So then we had protests. We had one texter saying that he has, I think it was a niece in Belfast, and said it's absolutely chaotic over there. But we had protests immediately following Tuesday evening, and there were crowds in parts of Belfast setting vehicles on fire, including a bus. They targeted buildings that were reportedly used for migrant housing. If you're watching us on Supertalk TV, you'll see these buildings that are on fire. And I mean, I think it's important that we don't condone rioting and looting and burning things down. But there is part of me, and I can't help but have this part of me feel like we should be rooting on the people who are being ignored by their government, the natives in Ireland, the natives in Britain. And I think that they're reaching a critical point where enough is enough. You can't vote your way out of this, apparently. So what do you guys think? Let's go to Bobby in Nashville. What's up, Bobby? How are you?
Hey, brother, thanks for taking my call. I'd like to get a shout-out and see if you can pull a few strings from Mason to get him a few dollars more on the hour. He's been doing a fine job. But anyway, hey, brother, you should show the video because I've actually seen it. It's kind of like one of them deals where they don't want you to see it. If you've seen the whole George Floyd video back in the day, they didn't show the whole thing over here, but they did actually show it in Britain. They just wanted you to catch the back end of it, you know. But, man, we got to quit letting these people come in. They said they was going to take over here in the United States without firing a shot, and that's what they're doing. I mean, they're running for mayor, they're running for Senate. I mean, it's crazy, man. So that's all I got to say. Well, what's your view?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you, and I think that we should be cheering them on. I mean, they're not being listened to. They've tried to vote their way out of it, and they keep bringing in these newcomers who are essentially replacing the natives. But I know all the names that I'll get called. I mean, and I think that's part of the issue here, right? You literally have migrants trying to behead people in the street, but if you root for the natives, you're a bigot. Let's go to Brian on the road. What's up, Brian?
What's up, man? I agree with that last caller about giving Mason something. I think you owe him a lot of apologies over the years, y'all, or year or so. I mean, he's just a sitting duck in there sometimes from you.
I feel like I've done a good. I've taken care of Mason from time to time.
You probably have. And we just don't see it, but you don't show it. So we have to get on to you every now and then.
Yeah.
I will say it's a mutual bashing. We're good. We're good over here. Me and Chris, we're good.
I figured it was. Without sounding racist, I guess it's just going to come down to let the chips fall where they may. Call me a racist if you want. I'm not offended by that at all. I'm not one, but I'm not offended by that just because you say it. I've been called lots of things that, I know I'm not, so I don't get upset about it. But we're making a bit of progress, as Crocodile Dundee once said. We're making a bit of progress in this country, taking them out. And unapologetically, Cash Patel, Tom Homan, was Dan Bongino. Wish he would have stayed, but I like him as a podcaster. These guys, they play tough, and that's what we got to have. And they represent, like President Trump says, they represent the 95%. It's the 5%, just like down there at Carmelo Anthony's verdict yesterday. I mean, you saw what you saw. I think I even saw somebody, maybe Fox or maybe Newsmax, show, is it Officer Brandon Tatum, the guy that I think you may have had him on before.
Yep.
He's a very smart, reasonable guy. He's a black man. Guess what? He's saying, you know what? Those people are, I'm sure he was embarrassed by the race part, but not really. He shouldn't be. It's not him. We're individuals. God made us individually. I'm not trying to get a corner on the white market, but, you know, we got to say what we got to say when it's something as bad as what's been happening in Great Britain. But you know what? Let them go. If those people are so stupid to allow that to happen, I love what's going on in Northern Ireland. You know, I think it ought to happen here, but we ought to go to the source here. I still think we ought to hang Joe Biden from a tree. That's all I got. Y'all have a great day.
Appreciate the call, Brian. It would need a treason conviction first. I mean, I think the infuriating part about what's happening in Europe is that the natives aren't just being replaced. They aren't just being shouted down, but if they criticize any of the actions by the governments there, oi, mate. I think you've had a bit too much to think. Ann Coulter and Andy No, we're talking about that. I mean, this is where a lot of the frustration comes from. Not only are you invading us with migrants who want to rape our women and daughters, want to murder us in the streets, and want to replace us, but if I say anything about it, I could be in trouble because I'm a racist.
These are adult defendants. They're not native Britons. They've been invited into the country, raped little girls, and the judge's position, the court's position is, we must protect them. Don't let anyone know what their names are. What on earth?
You know, so once upon a time, the U.S. adopted free speech in liberal traditions that came out of Great Britain. But in the modern age, Britain has really taken a different path. Politically, they don't view, and also in the law, they don't value free speech in the same way that it's been protected in the United States through like the First Amendment. So judges, for example, can and do very, very often put reporting restrictions on cases that are ongoing. Even after they've been convictions, sometimes they can restrict reporting on things. But I will say that in the people themselves, they still have that spirit here for free speech as a cultural norm, even though it's not necessarily reflected in the law. They're quite outraged here when police make arrests over social media posts.
This is one of the things that the free speech is the pressure release valve, right? And if you don't have that, you just have mounting pressure and tension. And then when these incidents happen, as they routinely seem to be happening in Europe, you find yourself in a place where the locals feel like their only way of recourse is to go directly at the invaders because their government won't do it for them. In fact, the government tells them to sit down and shut up and take more invaders. Let's go to John in Kentucky. What's up, John?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment as far as that Ireland thing. You know, if the officials that you have elected, all right, do not take care of the citizenry, all right, if they're turning their backs on them, okay, then it's the responsibility, it's the duty of every citizen to come together and take their country back. And that's exactly what the people in Ireland have to do. They don't have facilities like we have with Tom Homan and so on and so on. The politicians over there are wishy-washy. The citizens, they're my Irish brothers and sisters, and I tell them, Aaron, go bragh.
Yeah, but don't you agree with me that if the Iranians rose up against their regime, I would be able to celebrate it. But if the Irish or the British rise up against their regime, I'm going to be talked down to and called all the names under the sun. When I think you can make the argument that these governments hate their own people.
Exactly, and I mean the same thing with me. I've been waiting for the Iranian people to rise up. Why? Because they're rising up against hatred tyrants. Okay, well that's exactly what's happening right now in Ireland. You know, if you let these alien invaders get away with this stuff, okay, they're gonna put themselves in a position of being tyrants because the politicians right now in Ireland don't have any backbone.
You're absolutely right. I mean, and I think that we all look around at what's happening in America, and I think we feel like we're 10 years behind.
Yeah, I mean, we're staying on top of it, God bless Tom Homan and his people. But we have got to push it even farther. We've got to root out. I'm sorry. And you take a look at our previous leaders. You take a look at previous English leaders. They've told us, okay, what's coming as far as Muslims. They've told us what's coming as far as Islam. They warned us back in World War II. They warned us before that. Okay, it's got to be put an end to it.
Well, I mean, Islam is a political ideology masked as a religion, but I think it's important to point out it's not just Islam that we're dealing with. I mean, when you look at what's happening with the Somalis, with the Haitians, with all of these different third world countries, if you import the third world, you're going to have third world problems.
Exactly. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, John, I appreciate the call, man. Call in anytime.
Yep.
615-737-9986. I do. I look at what's happening in Ireland. I find myself rooting for the people, and I hope that they can take their country back. But what I fear is that we're not going to see that. What I fear is that we're going to see a harsher crackdown on the natives because of their response to an attempted beheading in the street than we'll ever see for the beheading in the street. That at the end of the day, when they react this way, the locals are going to be the ones that are punished. The locals are going to be the ones that are shut down and arrested en masse. And the migrants are going to continue replacing the natives and doing what the migrants do. It's crazy. But that's the reality of it. So why is it that I could cheer for the Iranians rising up, but I shouldn't be cheering for the Irish or the British to rise up? What about the French? I mean, they're dealing with it too. Paris is unrecognizable. London is unrecognizable. Belfast becoming unrecognizable. And we're just supposed to sit on our hands. What do we not have sovereignty in these countries? Why does it always seem that only Western countries need an influx of migrants? Did anybody notice that? You know, nobody goes to Mexico and says, geez, it's way too Mexican here. Nobody goes to Japan and says, golly, it is far too Japanese here. Nobody goes to China and makes any suggestion that they are filled with hate because they want to keep a homogenous society. But in European countries, Britain, Ireland, Germany, France, shut up, bigot. Take these migrants in. Am I the only one noticing this? I do. I hope that they rise up a bit. I fear that the people have been neutered too much by their government. Real quick, Wayne on the road. What's up, man?
Hey, so one, isn't it funny that we can now see why migrants weren't allowed back into their home countries? Two, imagine an American country that sent its warriors off to fight an ideology only to allow that ideology to come here and serve. And three, this is extra. We constantly hear people say, oh, they're radicals. Oh, they're just radicals. How many Muslims did you hear speak out against 9/11? How many Muslims did you hear speak out against October 7th? Until the American people truly understand what they want is world domination, and part of that domination is to take America down, we will continue to lose.
Wayne, I appreciate the call. It's 9:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's up, guys? All right, so I'm going to now toss it over to the chat. I have the video. Do you want to see the video? Let me know what you guys think. As soon as we just drop like a 1 in the chat if you want to see the video. If I see a bunch of 1s, I can play the video. I'll be honest. I'm torn. It might get us kicked off YouTube. Also, there's a very real possibility that this would get us completely removed from YouTube. But I'm okay with that. If you're okay with that, as long as you guys don't mind rejoining. I have it. I have it. Should yeah. All right. I think I only have one no. Look away if it's a bit too graphic for you. It's about a minute in length.
I'm dead. He's just killed him. Hurry up. Dead. He's completely dead. No, he's not. Has he got a knife? Yeah. Get off him, you fucking rat. Yo! He's cutting him. He's cutting him. He's trying to cut his head off. He's mate. Hurry up. Hurry up. He's slicing his head off here. Hurry up the fuck. Hurry back. Come on, fucker. Get him. Quick. Kill him. Get on them. Let him go now. Now, come on. Yes. Yes. Stand up. Stand up. There's a cop. There's a cop. Back off. Back off. Back off. Quick. No.
Now, I don't know about you, but the end of that video to me is one of the most telling parts where she goes, there's a cop, back off, back off, back off. Even as this man is trying to behead someone, the Irish instinctively know the police are probably going to take the side of the invader. Am I wrong? Is that my own view? Maybe. Appreciate you guys stomaching that. I do think it needs to be seen, and we'll play stuff like that exclusively for y'all on YouTube because we don't want to shy away from it. I don't want to gross anybody out. I don't want to turn anybody off, but I do think stuff like this 100% needs to be seen. We're going to rejoin the radio side. We appreciate you as always being with us on YouTube and Rumble. 9:55. We'll talk soon.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
Pete Hegseth speaking earlier. They've gathered all of the top generals in the entire world, brought them to Quantico and said, stop being fat and gay. Maybe I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's generally the message that we're getting.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. We are done with that shit. Standards must be uniform, gender neutral, and high. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign.
Stop being so fat and so gay. Let's focus on the mission. If you can do the job, you're welcomed here. No matter your sexual orientation or your skin color, but we're getting back to merit.
Coming up, how did they really die? An investigation into the deaths of an elderly married couple in Mount Juliet. Those stories and more coming up at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. If you were watching us on YouTube or Rumble, I did play the entire video during the break of what happened in Belfast. Everybody in the chat was like, no, just play it, man. Just play it. One thing and I watched this last night. My wife texted me. She said, I ran away. I couldn't watch it. I understand. It's not for anybody. It's not for everybody. I can't look away from this stuff. It's like I'm drawn to it. And then I watched it again and again. But as we were playing it on the stream, there's one part that I heard that I had forgotten about in the aftermath of doing show prep last night, where at a moment, while this migrant in Belfast, this Sudanese individual, is trying to behead this individual, a bunch of men rush in, right? And all these men rush in and they start attacking this guy, trying to get him off the dude that he is trying to behead. But there's a woman in the background. And she says something that is, I mean, it really drives to the root of this problem.
Bro, what? Get off. No! Bro, get off. What? You're trying to cut his hand off? Bro. I can't cut him in the head. He's trying to cut his hand off. I'm just going through here. He just to get
I missed it there. I think I started the tape a little bit too early. I mean, too late. But she said, guys, here come the police. Back off, back off. Like, even she instinctively knew while that was happening that the police will probably take the side of the invader than the natives. So don't look like you're attacking the guy trying to behead somebody in the middle of the streets. It's crazy. If you want to see the whole thing, we did play it on the stream. It's over there on YouTube and Rumble. If you rewind the tape a little bit, you'll be able to see it. Join us over there. We do extra stuff during the commercial breaks. I don't know. Do you think that'll get us kicked off YouTube? Are we still on?
We're still rolling.
We're still rolling. So, don't worry, though. Authorities aren't sure it was terrorism. Could have just been reasons.
Could have just been the wind.
Could have just been, yeah, you know.
You never know.
It could have been the knife's fault. 10 o'clock, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. There's concern that the U.S. and Iran are entering a new phase of the conflict after Iran's shooting down of an Apache helicopter. They're responding attacks by the U.S. And now a new round of missile fire aimed at U.S. forces in Jordan, Bahrain, and Kuwait. Trey Yingst at Fox News speaking directly with President Trump this morning.
What comes next? And he said, I may keep going. He spoke about the possibility of even targeting Iranian power plants and bridges because he tells Fox News the Iranians are tapping the United States along at the negotiating table.
President Trump is expected to sign the bill that passed in the House last night and the Senate last Friday that funds ICE and Border Patrol. And then it's expected he'll have some remarks at that signing today. There's a fresh investigation into the deaths of a husband and wife in their Mount Juliet home that caught fire last weekend. WSMV4 spoke to some neighbors.
It's just so hard to take that in, to believe, just to believe that happened right here. She was she's just a wonderful person. No. It's such a loss.
Those neighbors say they never saw any smoke, and first responders who were called to the home on Ashford Drive for a wellness check did find a charred door and a broken window. The Benton County Sheriff's Office investigating after human remains were found inside of a box. It was found on a property owned by the TVA where excavation work was underway. The Sheriff's Office saying the remains are from a preterm infant that didn't survive. Also inside that box, a onesie baby outfit, a pregnancy test, and a couple of items from adults. The TBI was called to the scene. Investigators are hoping to find the parents so they can relocate those remains. A shootout at a Nashville barber shop. Here's Channel 4's Marius Payton.
This happened Monday night on Nolensville Pike. Officers say someone showed up wanting a haircut, but the workers there said they were closed. That situation then escalated when both people pulled out guns and began shooting at each other.
Now, the person wanting the haircut was shot and showed up later as a walk-in at a hospital. No word on whether charges will be filed here. And hopes for a reduction in interest rates anytime soon may have been dashed with this morning's release of the latest consumer price index. Inflation is running hotter than it has in the past 3 years.
In the 12 months leading up to May, consumer prices with food and energy included rose 4.2%. To illustrate just how much more we're paying, Moody's Analytics says the average American household has pumped an extra $510 into the family car since the start of the Iran war.
That's ABC's Jim Ryan. Stocks are running low today. The Dow Jones Industrials right now minus 424. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. It's free to do. We're trying to do more and more. And as Mason moves into his full-time position, I think the YouTube channel, the streaming stuff is going to get even better. And because he's just been awesome with that stuff. We jump in during the commercial break sometimes on YouTube. We cover things and we're allowed to play things on the digital stream that we can't because of FCC regulations on the radio side of the broadcast. I don't know. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I like having the options. I like being able to do a little bit more. We often say like 3 hours is too short with the amount of news that we could cover in a day, especially with this news cycle. But Joan's going to be filling in for me next week, and she was like, please don't let the news cycle slow down. And I'm like, I don't think you have anything to worry about. When I started here almost 3 years ago, we're coming up on 3 years, which is crazy, like absolutely bananas. I remember the guys like Matt and Dan who, they've helped me tremendously since I started. But they were like, you just gotta find out what your story is when the news cycle slows down. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, over the last 3 years, the news cycle has only slowed down once. And we still had a missing submarine to talk about. You remember that?
Good times.
Remember the missing submarine?
Well,
It was simpler times.
Simpler times, yes.
It wasn't. They didn't have a good time at all.
No, they did not.
Although, I don't know. I feel like there's worse ways to go.
Then your controller disconnecting?
Well, because they got vaporized in the submarine, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty quick.
I hope so.
I've seen videos of people being swallowed by an escalator. I would take the submarine every time.
Absolutely. Oh, in comparison? Ugh.
You know what I'm saying? Or like, you ever see the one? I maybe it's just me. I'm a psychopath, and I watch all these videos, and like my kids, you know, a lot of people will tell their kids, let the people off the elevator before you go in. And my word of advice for the kids is make sure the floor's there. Make sure. I've seen too many videos of people just not paying attention. The elevator door's open and they're on their phone. It's like, whoop.
Yeah, they just walk into an empty elevator shaft is nuts.
Yeah, there's always worse ways to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so news cycle doesn't slow down. It's
not at all.
Essentially what we're talking about. Savannah Hernandez is going to be joining us at 10:35. She has been in Texas covering the Karmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf trial. Yesterday, the verdict came down. Karmelo Anthony guilty of murdering Austin Metcalf.
In the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, this case obviously has drawn national attention since it happened last year. Paul Morrow, your reaction?
Well, under the facts that we know, this seems to be the correct verdict. I mean, let me point something out that I felt set the tenor for the defense right off the top. In his opening statement, the defense attorney made a statement that Karmelo felt in fear because the Metcalf brothers surrounded him. That was in the opening statements almost as a justification for what he did. And those of us who follow this kind of stuff, and let me take my lawyer hat off for a second, right? Because most jurors are not lawyers. Let's just appeal to common sense. The picture in the mind of the jurors that the opening statement from the defense seemed to paint was of Karmelo Anthony sitting there with a bag next to him in which he secreted a knife, which he apparently was ready to use and which he warned he was ready to use, and that he felt justified in using because two brothers who were bigger than him were standing over him. By that metric, I could...
I mean, that's a reasonable reaction from Fox, that this was always going to end this way. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison. He's not going to serve the whole 35 years. I think that we can all agree with that. Even if he did, that means he's out by 57, 58 years old. 35 years isn't enough. It's not. I'm not going to pretend that it is. You made a decision. It was the wrong one. You had no reason to stab Austin Metcalf. I think he should have gone away for a lot longer. That being said, not my call. That's what they landed on. That's what they landed on, right? But the reaction that we're seeing, especially from the left, has been absolutely abhorrent. Let's start with Court TV. I had no idea. I don't know. Does anybody watch Court TV anymore? Court TV really came out of the O.J. Simpson trial, right? Like after that became the biggest story on the planet for a moment in time. Court TV was born. It went away for a little while, became True TV. Now it's back to Court TV, and I didn't realize how far left that they leaned. I mean, it's essentially an extension of MS Now. Listen to how the Court TV panel discusses the Karmelo Anthony guilty verdict.
I mean, I'm questioning the jury. I asked them, how did you reach your verdict? How did you reach it so quickly? What happened? It was a 4-inch knife. He used it one time. He was pushed. I'm not saying that it was right, but what are you doing? How?
It was a 4-inch knife and he used it one time. He was pushed. He was also asked to leave about 15 times, and he refused to. He said, touch me and see what happens. It was a 4-inch knife. That's an appropriate response to somebody putting their hand on your back, obviously. I mean, another Court TV panelist was devastated, essentially to tears. She's like, wow, this is heavy. This is so crazy.
Besides, wow, which a lot of us are feeling. Thoughts?
I was not expecting the top charge. I really was thinking that they would see manslaughter, still guilty, but manslaughter, different sentencing, but guilty of murder. So, that's heavy.
Wow. That's heavy. Wow, that's heavy. One of the things that they did during the defense was the lawyers of Karmelo Anthony tried to suggest that Austin Metcalf impaled himself on the knife. The jurors were left with their mouths agape in shock when they showed them Austin Metcalf's body. Wow, that's heavy. I couldn't have seen this coming. Is this really what we're doing? I think this is what we're doing. Now, I think that these leftists and these liberals, they're going full defense of Karmelo Anthony, and I think they're going full defense of Karmelo Anthony for one reason and one reason alone. He's black. And I think that that's just gross. I think if the roles were reversed today, they would be absolutely celebrating the guilty verdict. Maybe they'd be upset that it wasn't strong enough, like I am. Maybe. But because he's a black juvenile, and I use air quotes because he was like a month and some change away from his 18th birthday. Because he's a juvenile, this poor boy. No, I don't have time for that. I don't. And the reaction outside the courtroom has been gross. Absolutely gross. This is Karmelo Anthony's lawyer who's making the case that Black lives don't matter in Collin County, Texas.
I speak on behalf of myself, Minister Dominique Alexander. I speak on behalf of myself as president of the Next Generation Action Network. The Next Generation Action Network wanted to respect this process, to be able to make sure that nobody said that the Next Generation Action Network obstructed this process, interfered in this process. But what this process did is shown that Black lives do not matter in Collin County.
Come on. Do white lives matter? Are we allowed to ask that question? Karmelo Anthony was where he shouldn't be. He was asked to leave. He acted like a thug. He pulled a knife out of his backpack. He stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. Black lives don't matter in Collin County. Okay. Would y'all have the same kind of energy if it was black on black crime? If Austin Metcalf was black, would we be having the same energy? Come on. 35 years. It seems soft. There was more reaction outside the courtroom. This is from a supporter of Karmelo Anthony, and she's asking all the tough questions. What do I tell my boys? This black mom says she's got 5 boys. What do I tell them?
Why do we have to care anymore? Why are we even here? To be honest, why are we here? What are we here for? Because if we take up for ourselves, we go to jail. If we don't, we die. So it's a catch-22 in this situation.
If we don't take up for ourselves, we go to jail. If we take up for ourselves, we go to jail. If we don't, we die. Did Austin Metcalf have a knife? Was Austin Metcalf ready to stab Karmelo Anthony? What are we talking about here? So black people should be allowed to stab at any time to take up for themselves? Hold on, there's more.
What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for words. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more.
Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. Let me ask you this right now.
Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. We're still talking about Trayvon. I don't even want to get into Trayvon stuff. Trayvon versus George Zimmerman, the Hispanic guy. They made that white versus black. What do I tell my boys? What do I tell my boys? She says, don't stab people. We can't walk away. Why not? Why couldn't he walk away? Was there a threat of physical violence if he walked away when they asked him to walk away? Am I missing something? What do I tell my boys? Don't bring a knife to a track meet. Don't make a decision that's going to affect the rest of your life. What am I supposed to tell my boys? Don't stab people. I think that would be the route that I would go. I have 2 boys. I think I would say, son, if you stab someone to death, you're likely going to prison. So don't stab somebody to death at a track meet. What do I tell my boys? Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. It's all about race. It's just everything's about race. The whole thing's about race. And you're going to see this talking point over and over and over on the news. This wasn't a jury of his peers. There were no black people on that jury. Okay, the defense struck people from the jury. The prosecution struck people from the jury. They landed on the jury they had, which, spoiler alert, wasn't all white people. Also, I'm sorry. I thought we were supposed to be a colorblind society. So a jury of your peers has to be the exact same racial makeup as you? Is that what we mean? Is that's a jury of your peers? You had potential black jurors before being struck down saying, I don't know if I could sentence him to life. Okay, well, you're biased. Moving on. Are you telling us that white people can't be fair on a jury when the defendant is black? Is that what you're saying? What about the Asians and the Hispanics on the jury? Also, they can't be fair. We needed an all-black jury. Gross. Absolutely gross. These people are profiting off of this. The GoFundMe, hundreds of thousands of dollars raised, homes, vehicles purchased off of a murder. They have no issue with that. The issue is when a young man, not a boy, a young man stabs someone to death and he has to deal with the repercussions for his actions. That's when it goes too far. It's crazy. Now, one of the most wild moments to me was after the verdict was handed down, there was a white person in a tent with the Karmelo Anthony family. And you know what they did? They kicked him out of the tent. You know what he didn't do? He didn't stab anybody. Kind of went under the radar in that situation. We can't walk away anymore. What am I supposed to tell my boys? I can't believe. I mean, if I was a betting man, I don't even know if this woman is related to anyone in the Anthony family. It's just all a black thing now.
Why do we have to care anymore? Why are we even here? To be honest, why are we here? What are we here for? Because if we take up for ourselves, we go to jail. If we don't, we die. So it's a catch-22 in this situation. What do you want us to do? That's right. What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for words. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more.
Just don't stab people. Don't stab people. Don't shoot people. Don't murder people. I mean, I feel like that's pretty, that would just be solid advice. 1022, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Summer is heating up, and you're already feeling it if your AC is not working. Well, call my guys at Busy Bee. They're going to help you out today with a brand new home air conditioning system. You're not going to break the bank, and if you get it during the month of June, You'll also be entered to win a free 3-day beach getaway. Busy Bee is going to cover your gas, your lodging, 2 meals a day. Like them on Facebook. They're going to announce the winner there at the end of the month. Maybe you're good on the AC, but you need to improve the home's air quality. Busy Bee can help you there as well. Save 10% on the deluxe air duct cleaning package or 5% on the mid-tier package if you're good there, but plumbing is an issue. Well, you can take $100 off any plumbing repair over $500. And for a limited time, you receive a free Yeti cooler with any whole home drain repipe or water repipe project. Call Busy Bee today, 615-775-7833. That's 615-775-7833. Or you can always find them online at busybeehvac.com. (1027) Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Headlines on the way with Joan in less than 3 minutes on Super Talk 99.7. My name is Chris Hand. I was responding to a texter, 7502. You're making it like this kid just set out to kill this white kid. I hate that anybody died in this situation, but the black kid had a knife for a reason. and it was more than likely for self-defense. This kid did not have to go hero and confront Karmelo Anthony. He could have let the authorities or go get a teacher or SRO to do their job. I said, so it's Austin Metcalf's fault for getting stabbed? Not at all. I hate this kid lost his life because he deserves to be living right now. However, he should have went to the authorities and he might still be living. That does not justify what happened. I'm just stating facts. To answer your question, the all-white jury is 95% going to convict a black male of any crime. That's just the facts. I think that's bovine scatology. I do. Also, the narrative of this being an all-white jury, not the reality of the situation. There were Hispanics on the jury. There were Asians on the jury. By the way, both the prosecutors and the defense struck black jurors from the jury pool. So was the defense racist too? Was everybody racist? Is racism in the room with you right now? The facts of the case were that Karmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. And he died. And he didn't need to do that. But, what do I know? I'm just a white man. I'm just maybe all of my privilege is obfuscating the truth here, and I can't see through it. What do I tell my boys? Tell them don't stab people. That's what I would do. Don't stab people, and you'd be good. A lot of people are saying D'Angelo from Matt's show yesterday needs to call me. I'm open to it. I'm open to anybody calling me, honestly, if you disagree. If you think it's about racism, our Asian Hispanic friend, Savannah Hernandez, she's going to be calling in. She's been down at the courtroom during this trial, and she's going to help us break down what she saw on the ground and what she thinks happened during the case. She's got a lot of good info, a lot of good intel because she was there. She was in the room. We'll talk to Savannah when we get back. It's 10:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We have new information about the Iranian attack on an Apache helicopter at the Strait of Hormuz. Trey Yingst reporting that he spoke exclusively this morning with President Trump.
President Trump tells Fox News that the Iranian drone lodged in between the two pilots in this helicopter. They were flying very low. And at that point, the drone didn't explode as it had intended to. And so these pilots were trying to take down the helicopter with the drone lodged into this gunship without it exploding. And at any moment, it could have exploded, the president told me. And he said it was on fire. There was a lot of heat inside the cockpit.
Eventually, those pilots were rescued by an unmanned drone boat.
Metro 911, what is the location?
Help! Help! Please come now. Their dogs are attacking this woman.
We are hearing for the first time the 911 call made to Metro Nashville police by a neighbor that heard a woman's screams as her 5 pit bull dogs were mauling her. Police killed all 5, but a 6th was cordoned off in the home and not killed. Those neighbors telling WSMV4 the dogs were known to be vicious.
I think you don't always know what you get with a foster, and pit bulls are known to be a little bit aggressive. It's a lot. It's a lot that comes with it, so I can't even imagine having 6 dogs.
The woman who was attacked rescued all of the pit bulls from local pet adoption agencies. A man suffered critical injuries from a shark attack in Florida. This happened yesterday in the Florida Panhandle. The victim, an employee at the naval base in Panama City. The whole incident captured on video.
Video appears to show the terrifying moments the man is attacked by a shark on Monday in Panama City. That's where officials say he was swimming near the base's marina on his lunch break. Witnesses screaming for help as he was pulled underwater.
That's ABC's Morgan Norwood. That is the latest news. Weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville. And as a husband and a dad with 4 kids, 2 dogs, we're always looking for ways to keep the house a little bit healthier. And now that the kids are home a lot more, it makes a lot of sense to do it. We got baseball season wrapping up. A lot of red dirt been wrecking the carpets all season long. So we bring in Zero Res. And what stands out to me, and should stand out to you, is they don't use harsh chemicals or soap that leave behind residue. The carpets are clean, but they're also safe for the family and for the pets, which fits right in with the whole Maha idea of keeping our homes healthier, and the difference is going to be obvious to you right away. The carpets will look better, feel softer, and dry faster than any cleaning you've ever had done before, and I am not the only one noticing. They have got thousands of reviews in Nashville and one of the best ratings around. Right now, they're running 2- and 3-room carpet specials, so give them a call and book it for your house today. 615-535-9376, 615-535-9376, 2- and 3-room specials, or they can work up a custom quote for your home. ZeroResNashville.com. "37 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can join the show any way you'd like. You can listen on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us as well on YouTube, Rumble, all the places. So join us wherever you can join us. Podcasts are always available on Apple and Spotify. We were trying to get Sav on the line, and she has not answered yet. I'll shoot her a text right now. Yo. No, she's got like a new baby, so I don't know what's going on. We'll try and get Savannah Hernandez on the line here soon. No stress if we can't. We got plenty to talk about in the meantime. We can talk a lot about this ourselves. We were talking about the Karmelo Anthony case. I guess I would pose the question to you at 615-737-9986. Is 35 years enough for Karmelo Anthony? Is 35 years enough? 615-737-9986. I mean, if I'm doing some pocket math here, the kid's 18 now. He gets 35 years. Let's say he serves all 35, right? 18 plus 35. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, I am using a calculator. That's 53. 53 years old. He'll be getting out. He'll have wasted the majority of his life in prison because of the decisions that he made. But is that enough? I don't think it is. I think an example needed to be made. I think that we need a death penalty. It was never going to happen. They didn't charge him as an adult because of the age he was when he committed the crime. I think we should have gone a lot harder on this kid. He was 17 and change. Like, he was essentially a month away from being 18 when he committed the crime. So I don't have any sympathy for Karmelo Anthony. I don't. I've been 18 before. I've been 17 before. And you know what never crossed my mind? Stabbing someone in the heart for no reason at all. Now, maybe I'm on an island here. Maybe 35 years, you think that's the perfect amount of time for Karmelo Anthony. But I'd like to get your response. Again, 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. The supporters outside the courtroom were mourning the convicted murderer, Karmelo Anthony, breaking down in tears and leaving the scene. And I just couldn't help but not feel bad at all. Billy on the road. Am I wrong in thinking the way I'm thinking? Oh, you got to put the phone up for me, Mason. Sorry. What's up, Billy?
Hey, are we really surprised about the racial perspective? I mean, several years ago, I remember not even that long ago, it was a incident in California. It was a Hispanic cop, an Asian cop, and they shot a black guy, and they blamed it on white supremacy.
Yeah.
And then I thought that couldn't get no crazier. I'm like, these people obviously don't know what racism is. And then just last year, all those cops, 3 black cops, I believe, killed that one black guy, and they blamed white supremacy. And I was like, well, it's the higher ups. Well, the chief of police is black.
Yeah,
The
that was
mayor is black.
Memphis.
There's not even a white person nowhere, but they still blamed it on white supremacy.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, it's like everything has to be through and I appreciate the call, Billy. Everything has to be through the racial lens. And it's not just, and like to say it's black people, that's wrong. It's individuals on the left. It has to be through a racial lens. Whether you're black on the left or you're white on the left, it's through a racial lens. If you're a black conservative, and I know many of them, they think Karmelo Anthony should have gone to jail for what he did. So, and I don't want to make it a black and white thing, but it's hard for me to look the other way when you see everyone on the left trying to do that exact same thing. Jamie on the road, you're up next. What's up?
Hey, Chris. To me, it's not a black and white thing. This is the only black and white thing about it is that he took a life. He should get life.
Is 35 years too short?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, is the other kid gonna just all of a sudden have a family in 35 years and live out the rest of his life? Is his family in 35 years going to forget about him? No. This kid took that other kid's life.
Yep.
So he should be in prison for life.
I'm with you. Thanks for the call, Jamie. Let's go to Mike in Lawrenceburg. What's up, Mike?
Yeah, there's one thing that people aren't thinking about, and that's, you know how hard you have to stab somebody to go through bone to get to the heart?
I'm aware, but I think that's a good point to make. He went for this kid, and it was savage and it was aggressive.
I field dress a lot of animals. If you want to cut through a bone, you gotta go. You gotta hit it hard because it went through the chest bone, and that's a big bone.
Yeah, I mean when they showed the pictures of the wound in court, the jury audibly gasped. And then the defense tried to make the case that Austin Metcalf impaled himself on that knife.
No. But no, it was just the rage that had to be in this kid to stab him, to go that hard and go through bone to get to a heart. That takes a lot of doing.
I'm with you, Mike, and I appreciate your perspective. Let's go to Calvin in Lebanon, the distinguished gentleman. What's up?
Hey, Chris, I don't normally call in and comment on things like this, but I just can't stand it anymore. Not only would the white man have made it to court on this, the white man would have got the 99 years. And bottom line is it's hard to go into court and beat murder, and that's exactly what that young man done. I hate it for him. I hate it for the one that was stabbed and their family worse. And it looks like his mom and dad got a new house out of it. So that's what I got to say.
Yeah, I hear you. Did they buy the house or did they rent the house? I was under the impression that they rented the house, but they did buy some new vehicles. They raised, I think it was like $600,000 at one point in the response to the murder. They were selling merchandise in response to the murder. Like, just vile and disgusting, profiting off of this. But that's what they did. You made a point, Calvin, that I thought was really well. The white man would have got 99 years for this. Yep. You're absolutely right. If the races were reversed, I do believe that he would have been charged as an adult and he would have got 100 years. And I say that with anecdotal evidence, but evidence nonetheless. And this is a breaking just last night. The man, DeCarlos Brown Jr., who stabbed Irina Zarutska, the Ukrainian refugee on the North Carolina train, well, he just got found unfit to stand trial. Again, I mean, listen, how am I supposed to look at this? The man accused of killing Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska on a North Carolina train in August has been found incompetent to stand trial. I mean, he seemed pretty competent to stab her. He seemed like he knew what he was doing. In the aftermath of the Irina Zarutska stabbing, I think we've all heard it. We've all seen the video. Remember what he said? He said, "I got that white girl. I got that white girl." I got that white girl as he walks away with a knife dripping blood on the floor of the light rail train. He's unfit, guys. Completely unfit. Are you kidding me? It's crazy. The judge ordered Tuesday that Brown be hospitalized and treated for, wait for it, 4 months. After which there'll be another hearing to determine whether he is competent to stand trial. What do you think is going to happen in that hearing? Anybody? Anybody? If Brown's competency does not improve enough for him to stand trial, he will not be released because he would be a serious risk to others, the judge said. Brown had a couple of outbursts during the hearing, including one in which he said he wanted to sue the FBI. The judge advised him to be quiet. Ferguson told reporters that after the hearing, the prosecutor's goal is to seek justice for Zarutska and her family, adding that he is hopeful Brown's competency will be restored. Ferguson said Brown had been having outbursts since the case began and has made comments about some sort of material that controls him. He has to be able to understand the proceedings against him and be able to assist in his defense. And I think you saw from his actions, he's not quite there yet. Could that be an act? Maybe. Even if it's not an act, do we have to act like this man deserves to live? I mean, seriously, what are we doing? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's go to our friend Tony in Montreal. What's up, Tony?
How you doing, man? I'm not absolutely outraged by this reaction by the mother. that Chris, first, I appreciate the fact that you're on YouTube so I can see all this stuff, and I think you're doing a great job. Maybe this is the way radio is going to be in the future, but I listen to you every day, okay? And nobody can accuse me of being a Republican or a Democrat or one side or other. I'm a Canadian. I'm up north. I'm listening to you guys. In self-defense law across the globe, in any common law jurisdiction, England, Canada, U.S., New Zealand, proportionality is the response requirement. In other words, if I spit on you, you cannot hit me with an axe in the middle of my forehead. If I kick you, you cannot stab me. And if I slap you, you cannot shoot me down. So the issue is, in law, it's called the thin-skulled victim. In other words, even if I punch you and you die from the punch, either you hit your head on the concrete or you have a thin-skulled circumstance in your biology, you are responsible for the death. You perpetrated the violence against the aggressor. Your attack was too great for the attack that came upon you. Therefore, you are responsible for in manslaughter for his death, even if you punch him and even if it was proportionality. So the law is clear. It has nothing to do with whether you're black or white. If it's white on white, that law applies of self-defense. If it's black on black, it's the same thing. Anybody that advocates that response in a high school, I don't know exactly where this took place, but like your other caller said, my son hunts, and when we have to cut through carcass, you got to really cut through carcass. The breastplate is something else. If you have to stab a person that badly, then there's something wrong with you, man. And you are a violent individual. Like, why isn't Karmelo just responding to this kid? If he was harassing Karmelo, why don't you just punch him out, bro? Just punch him or kick him or do something. Why do you have to kill him? And why is the mother saying that a child must carry a knife to protect himself? I have a son. I tell my son, when you're in a conflict, walk away. Yep. When you're going to speak to a police officer, he is right. Whether you think you're right or not, don't confront a police officer. A police officer does not know what your intentions are. He has to meet 1,000 people in a week that are sometimes like this crazy guy on that train in Carolina that killed Zalutska. You know, this is what you're talking about, is our society, Chris, has become insane. The left will justify anything to a color lens. I call that pork pocket pigmentation politics. Pork pocket because it's cash, corruption, criminality, and pigmentation politics because it's pitting white people against black people when it should not be. Exactly. You should be talking about policy, man. Talk about policy. If you hate Trump, don't hate him because he's a person or what he says. Find out what his policies are. If you like a person, if you like Chris Hand, then what are his policies? It doesn't matter if you're from Mars or you're from Canada. It's what your policies are. If you're advocating for peace and you're advocating for what God and Jesus promised us for peace on earth, okay, and brotherhood, then these colors of the rainbow should not matter, whether you're a gender this or you're a that. And this is what bothers me. Like, this gentleman took an action, and you're an adult, and you killed a person, like your last caller said. You killed that family. You didn't just kill that kid. Yep. You killed his future family. He has no children. He has no grandchildren, that boy that died. And that family suffers every day, Chris. Every day they were going to suffer. They have psychological suffering for the end of time until they die, until they meet their son in heaven again. But imagine that you can sit there and pontificate and profit by going to these websites and getting money to build homes and cars, etc. Because your son, he wasn't a basketball star, he wasn't a baseball star, hockey star, he wasn't the best student in university or in high school. He killed somebody. So you now go and ask for funds because your son is not to defend himself. So you can have all your callers call in and say, I'm a racist. I'm not a racist. If you kill a person, whoever you are in society, you pay the price by the black and white of the law. That's why the law is in white and black.
Tony, you're absolutely right, and I appreciate the call. You know, the one thing that you stuck out to me that you said, which jogged my memory, is you said Austin Metcalf's family is going to suffer with this for the rest of their life. They'll tell you it'll get easier. It's not. It's not. It's just going to be missed milestones and a young man who is forever a teenager now. But politicians will jump in and they'll say certain things. Jasmine Crockett weighed in on this. Do you know what Jasmine Crockett said? She said, and I quote, "Black women live in agony every day that I promise the Metcalfs have never lived through."
Black women, especially Black women who have Black male children, live in fear and agony every single day. A fear and agony that I promise you, the Metcalfs probably never spent a day living that way. And we're gonna have just some real conversations about race in this country.
Yeah, we gotta have real conversations about race in this country. Hey, spoiler alert! You know who are killing Black women's sons the most? Other Black women's sons. Sorry. So there's that. 10:53 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. If you need a safe, you need to get it from our veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee. You don't want to get it from a big box store that's selling big box store safes built for marketing that can be tipped over and pried open from a teenager. No. You need a real safe, and Parker Safes has it for you. They got quality safes from brands like American Security, Rhino, Liberty, Heyman, and more. Now, Aaron and his sons run the entire business. They'll help you choose the best safe for your needs and your budget. They'll offer advice on the best place to put it. They'll deliver it and carefully install it themselves. Start on their YouTube page. Search Parker Safes on YouTube. Find a detailed video review of every safe they have in stock. And from there, pick up the phone and call Aaron. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. When you mention the Chris Hand Show when you buy a safe, you'll get a free pistol safe while supplies last. Find them online, parkersafes.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you've got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. We have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
Nashville Metro Council taking the first step toward a temporary moratorium on new data centers, and the Trump administration warning more than 500 hospitals nationwide, including several in Middle Tennessee, to improve price transparency. These stories and more coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Headlines on the way in about 2 minutes. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We were played a clip from Jasmine Crockett, which said, black women live in agony every day because they're worried about their sons dying. And I made the comment, do you know who's killing black mothers' sons? It's other black mothers' sons. And I got quite a few texts on the line saying, actually, it's black mothers, which it's funny you should mention that. Yesterday there was a hearing with the SPLC. They were talking about how they've been funding white supremacist groups and doing it quite effectively. But Brandon Gill actually brought up that point on abortion with the chief of the SPLC, one Mr. Fair. Listen to this exchange.
Said that restricting and banning abortion is a tool of the far right uses to maintain white supremacy. Do you believe that pro-lifers are white supremacists?
I believe that reproductive liberty is...
No, do you believe that pro-lifers are white supremacists?
I will tell you what I believe if you're asking.
Yes or no?
I can't answer that question, yes or no.
I don't think that pro-lifers are white supremacists. Do you?
What I think is that reproductive liberty is a right that every woman should enjoy.
How many babies in the United States that are aborted are black? About 40% of abortions nationwide are of black babies. Blacks represent about 13% of the population. Does that sound like something a white supremacist would oppose?
What I would say again is that SPLC supports reproductive liberty.
Calling somebody a white supremacist is a pretty serious charge, isn't it? I would think you would be able to defend that if your organization says that. You clearly seem unable to.
Mr. Gill, I'm not sure why you would think I'm unable to do anything.
Because you're the president of the SPLC, which labels pro-lifers as racists.
Brandon Gill is a star, man. He's absolutely on fire. There was a lot of moments from that SPLC hearing yesterday that I want to bring to you, and we'll talk about it when we get back. It's 11 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Nashville Metro Council taking the first step toward a temporary moratorium on new data centers. This measure would pause permits and construction approvals across Davidson County, but still needs 2 more votes to pass. The move comes amid strong opposition to proposed sites near the zoo and Fisk University. The Trump administration warning more than 500 hospitals nationwide, including several in Middle Tennessee, to improve price transparency or face steep fines. In our area, Middle Tennessee, Ascension St. Thomas Midtown in Nashville, Sumner Regional Medical Center in Gallatin received warning notices, while Williamson Medical Center in Franklin and St. Thomas Hospital for Specialty Surgery in Nashville were asked to submit corrective action plans. Officials say hospitals must clearly post pricing for common services so patients can compare costs ahead of time. Facilities that fail to comply could be fined up to $2 million a year. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates voluntarily appearing for an interview today with the House Oversight Committee to answer questions about his interactions with Jeffrey Epstein. Gates says he first met Epstein in 2011 and ended his interactions with the late convicted sex offender in 2014. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has more from Washington.
Bill Gates told reporters,
I hope my testimony is helpful to the important work of the committee to find justice for the victims.
The Microsoft co-founder's prepared statement had him telling the House Oversight Committee he never victimized anyone and that meeting with Jeffrey Epstein was a grave error in judgment. Republican Chairman James Comer says he now aims to call in attorney Alan Dershowitz and would also like to hear from Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, now the president's nominee to lead the Justice Department. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Well, hopes for a reduction in interest rates anytime soon may have been dashed with this morning's release of the latest consumer price index. ABC's Jim Ryan says inflation's running hotter than it has in over 3 years.
In the 12 months leading up to May, consumer prices, with food and energy included, rose 4.2%. To illustrate just how much more we're paying, Moody's Analytics says the average American household has pumped an extra $510 into the family car since the start of the Iran war.
Personal bankruptcy filings are on the rise here in Tennessee. A new study showing more than 21,600 filings in the past year, up about 6.6%. That's despite modest growth. Tennessee still ranks third in the nation for bankruptcies per capita, part of what researchers call the bankruptcy belt. Experts telling News 2, job loss, medical debt, and rising costs are among the key drivers. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Now, before you ask, I definitely voted for this.
Okay. They didn't take Reese's or food stamps no more, no candy. So they went live when they said they're going to take out all the snacks. They're taking away all the snacks on EBT. What's the point of that?
God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds.
Go on, get your butt to work if you want to get some fudge rounds. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
The Reese, they didn't take the Reese card. Food stamps is boring right now.
Remember last week with the Tylenol stuff? Yeah. Okay. And then Britain, they came out and they said, don't listen to anything Trump says. You remember that?
Don't listen.
Don't listen to the orange man. Tylenol's totally safe. And then we were like, well, should we listen to Tylenol? Because they said don't take it while pregnant.
Yeah, they said
Remember
that a while ago, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I've come to a new conclusion. We don't need to listen to anything the British government says, which leads me to this headline. First cousin marriage has benefits, says NHS guidance, despite birth defect risk. First cousin marriage is linked to stronger extended family support systems and economic advantages. It's a strong family. Now, it's important to point out the real reason that they're doing this is because they've been culturally invaded by Muslims. I know. Listen, it's uncomfortable. People don't want to talk about it, but we'll talk about it. Diversity is our strength. Yikes. It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Big SPLC hearing yesterday. There's a push. They want to revoke the Southern Poverty Law Center's tax exempt status because they paid millions of dollars to neo-Nazi groups and white supremacist groups to boost their own fundraising. We saw that. We chronicled that story ad nauseum, but the hearing yesterday was wild. It was comical at times. Sorry, I didn't mean to play that. It was comical at times, but it was infuriating at others. And I think that this stuff needs to be played. It's not going to get played on CNN. You know, I think they ran away from the SPLC story. They said that we're doing it because we hate the SPLC because we're racist, and it's like no. You're funding the racism that you're claiming to fight. That's a big issue. But let's start with Jim Jordan.
Went on, and now we learn that they had field sources, that's what they called them, that they were paying $4 million over a period of years, and these field sources were engaged in all kinds of ridiculous, hateful, racist things, all while telling their donors, we're doing the great stuff. That's the story. And that's why the Justice Department's investigating it and has indicted them. Anything I get wrong in that there, Mr. Banger?
It is a tale of hypocrisy.
Yeah. I thank the gentlelady for yielding. I will give you back 30 seconds. God bless you for yielding me 4 minutes and 30.
Jim Jordan outlining exactly what they're going after. Let's talk about Representative Andy Biggs out of Arizona. He's running to be governor out there. I think he'd be a good governor. He confronts the SPLC interim president on the organization's rogue spy network. These are the field sources that they've been paying, the white supremacists. Let's listen to Andy Biggs.
Well, in 2014, F9 broke into the headquarters of an organization, stole 25 boxes of documents, transported those across state lines, and he was paid money by that individual and continued to receive money for 20 years, in total receiving allegedly $1.2 million. And he's the one, F9 is the one that was involved in the romantic relationship with your employee. And I want to know, are you telling us that you never knew about that relationship even as you sit here today?
I'm telling you first that all the allegations in the indictment will be addressed in the Middle District of Alabama in the criminal case pending before that court.
This is a nice way of saying I'm not going to answer your questions, sir. I'm not going to tell you I don't know the answers. I don't want to be caught lying under oath, but I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to answer the questions. Chip Roy brought up the fact that these guys fight for LGBT rights, the SPLC, but there's a weird missing gap, and that's Islamist groups. And I don't know if you've been keeping score at home. Radical Islamists, jihadis, not a fan of the LGBT lifestyle. Chip Roy.
How many extremist Islamic groups do you have of the 1,500 or so organizations you have on your hate map?
Again, anyone can go to our website.
My office has been looking over it and we can't really find one.
Again, it is the SPLC's.
You think
right.
SPLC could provide us a list of the Islamic-oriented groups that you have on your hate map?
Mr. Roy, we don't target any group because of its religion.
Really?
I want to be clear about that.
Really?
Yes, that's exactly right. We target no group because of its religion. We target groups because they express statements and engage in activities that demean and vilify.
So you brought up LGBTQ groups a second ago.
Roy.
So you brought up LGBT groups a minute ago. So you think there's a bunch of Islamic groups that are pro-LGBTQ? Is that?
Well, Queers for Palestine, right? I know of one.
The position of the SPLC? I just want to make sure the record is reflecting that.
I mean, you can hear people laughing in the background because everybody knows how comical this is. It's also comical that they say they're not targeting any groups because of their faith. They're only targeting the most diabolical extremists out there. Hey, fun fact, I was working at Turning Point when we got put on the hate map. Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Hate groups, right? Oh, dastardly, vile hate groups. Mind you, Turning Point employed more than a few homosexuals, not because of their lean, what they like sexually, but because they did a good job and they aligned with the mission. But they do target religious groups. They target Christians.
During the Biden-Harris administration, the FBI's Richmond field office relied on information from the SPLC when creating its memorandum that categorized certain Catholics as racially motivated violent extremists.
Wait. I thought the SPLC president said they didn't target any religious groups. Yet the Biden regime and the SPLC were working together and targeting Catholics? Got it.
Do you believe that Americans practicing their Christian faith and exercising their First Amendment rights are violent extremists?
Congressman Gooden, the SPLC doesn't identify any group based on religion. We too believe in religious liberty. We identify groups based on the statements, they make, that their leaders make, based on their activities that target various groups.
Well, many of these statements are based on religious beliefs. So I'd take issue with that.
I'd take issue with that, too. I'm not going to play only conservatives, just for the record. Pramila Jayapal, as one person said, the bug-eyed frog lady. Pramila Jayapal. I didn't say it. Somebody wrote that on Twitter. Pramila Jayapal, she had some things to say. She actually ran back the Very Fine People hoax.
Condoning of extreme white nationalists directly from the White House. In Trump's America, white supremacists at the Charlottesville rally are, quote, very fine people, even after images and videos showed participants making Nazi salutes and cheering on the former Grand Wizard of the KKK.
I mean, this is, again, what are we doing here? The Democrats are insane. Very fine people. Even one Jake Tapper.
Condoning of
Jake Tapper has debunked that hoax. I don't know if you know this. Jake Tapper is not exactly a fan of the president.
Now, elsewhere in those remarks, the president did condemn neo-Nazis and white supremacists. So he's not saying that the neo-Nazis and white supremacists are very fine people.
Yeah, but don't let the truth get in the way of a good angle and a good narrative, right? This is just what we're seeing from the Democrats. They have no leg to stand on here. Meanwhile, the SPLC was busted paying an organizer of that Charlottesville rally. Details, right? You know, nothing to get in the way of the narrative. Obviously, Republicans are evil racists, and we need the SPLC to fight back against them. Right? Of course. Of course we do. Jim Jordan said you guys are running an extremism grift here for profit, and I think Jim Jordan is absolutely right.
Field Source 37, the guy at the Charlottesville rally, helped plan that rally, coordinate transportation there, was paid to attend. After the event where a lady was killed, the Southern Poverty Law Center almost tripled their income. $51 million to $133 million after they were coordinating the hate that took place at that crazy rally. You run a scam, you become the standard, you don't get prosecuted, and you make a ton of money. They got $800 million assets, $700 million in an endowment. Such a deal.
That's what we like to call a grift in the industry. That's a grift. A very profitable grift. Yeah, the Democrats kept acting like the grift was reality. One Democrat, Jamie Raskin, maybe you've heard of him. He said that the SPLC, which has been, not proven in a court of law, but it's been charged that they are funding actual KKK leaders. He said that it's the SPLC that derails white supremacist hate crimes.
The purpose of these operations is obviously to derail and prevent white supremacist hate crimes and actions, both the kinds of hate crimes and shooting sprees we see all around us, but even more massive terrorist attacks like the Oklahoma City Federal Building bombing, which took the lives of 168 Americans, many of them children, who were in a daycare center when the white nationalists unleashed their terrorism on the people of Oklahoma.
It's bad, right? When they have to go back to the 90s for examples. That's how bad white supremacism is. It's everywhere. Let me cite an example from the early 90s. One that the internet disputes quite often. Have you ever gone down the Oklahoma City bombing rabbit hole? Nah, me either. Me either. That's a conversation for a different day. We'll have it one day. There's some weird stuff on the Oklahoma City bombing. It's just, I don't know. I was like 5 when it happened. I'm not going to claim to be an expert. I've watched a documentary or two, but I'm not going to claim to be an expert. Back to the matter at hand. We're evil white supremacists, and everybody knows it. Well, you've classified pro-lifers as white supremacists. I played this clip a little while ago. I think it deserves being played again. Rep. Brandon Gill said, when you call pro-lifers white supremacists, should we acknowledge that 40% of the babies aborted in the country are black? Is that something a white supremacist would want to shut down?
said that restricting and banning abortion is a tool of the far right uses to maintain white supremacy. Do you believe that pro-lifers are white supremacists?
I believe that reproductive liberty is...
No, do you believe that pro-lifers are white supremacists?
I will tell you what I believe if you're asking.
Yes or no?
I can't answer that question, yes or no.
I don't think that pro-lifers are white supremacists. Do you?
What I think is that reproductive liberty is a right that every woman should enjoy.
How many babies in the United States that are aborted are black? About 40% of abortions nationwide are of black babies. Blacks represent about 13% of the population. Does that sound like something a white supremacist would oppose?
What I would say again is that SPLC supports reproductive liberty.
Calling somebody a white supremacist is a pretty serious charge, isn't it? I would think you would be able to defend that if your organization says that. You clearly seem unable to.
Mr. Gill, I'm not sure why you would think I'm unable to do anything.
Because you're the president of the SPLC, which labels pro-lifers as racists.
Yeah, and it's important to point out that while they'll say pro-lifers are racist, they never want to have that conversation about the founder of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger. You ever play the game where you play a game, it's quotes, and you go, who said it? Was it Margaret Sanger or was it Hitler? And the fun part about the game is you only have to do Margaret Sanger quotes because that's how vile and nasty this woman was. You talk about pro-lifers being racist, and it's like, oh, how dare they want to save the lives of all these babies that also happen to be black or white or Asian. They're just babies. But they never acknowledge where Planned Parenthood came from. I know this is the SPLC hearing, but it's important to point out the roots of Planned Parenthood.
Well, New York is the clinic where this is changing. Jason Riley, writing a piece in the Wall Street Journal back in 2018, he cites numbers from the New York Health Department going 2012 to 2016 under this headline, let's talk about the black abortion rate. He says in New York City, thousands more black babies are aborted than born alive each year, and the abortion rate among black mothers is more than 3 times higher than it is for white mothers. I mean, Benjamin, I know these are some of the things that you're tackling in your documentary because you think it's important that we have a conversation about these realities.
We do have to have a conversation about the realities. They pushed abortion in the hood for a reason. Pro-lifers aren't white supremacists for wanting to shut it down. I think you can make the exact opposite argument. That's just me. Brandon Gill, though, absolutely solid. He also had a question for Dr. Alveda King, who was in attendance at the SPLC hearing. I wonder if they'll be able to label Dr. Alveda King a white supremacist. Do you think that would work? Is she a white supremacist? I mean, maybe.
Are pro-lifers white supremacists?
Pro-lifers cannot be white supremacists. Pro-lifers believe in life from the womb to the tomb and beyond. Pro-lifers fight for every baby in the womb, regardless of skin color. We have been aborted as blacks in America disproportionately. And so the white supremacists are Planned Parenthood, who admitted that they do have racist underpinning with an agenda to reduce the black population by abortion.
That's Dr. Alveda King. By the way, fun fact, the SPLC labeled her as a hate leader. Yeah, it's just like, what are we doing here? They labeled her as a hate leader. They labeled Charlie Kirk as a hate leader. They did give the interim SPLC president an opportunity to apologize to Dr. Alveda King to her face and to also Charlie Kirk, as referring to them as hate leaders.
Mr. Fair, I don't want you to be left out of this conversation. Your organization has labeled Dr. King and Charlie Kirk and others. Do you regret that? Will you recant it? Or are you going to double down and say that these people, including the martyred Charlie Kirk, in fact somehow deserve to be on your hate list for their constantly talking about bringing people together, talking about the teachings of the Bible and the like?
Congressman Issa, as I said in my statement.
Now, wait a second. No. I heard your statement. I only want an answer to your question in the 11 seconds left. Are you going to recant, yes or no? And if you're not going to, please don't tell me it's because now you're under charges. Your organization did it as much as 16 years ago. Will you take back any part of that, or is your hate list stand as your position of your organization as its head today?
The SPLC will continue to expose hate and extremism.
Okay, we'll take that as the list stands. Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, he's not going to apologize. Of course not. 11:23, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. And if you think that you got to wait till the fall for open enrollment to get yourself some good health insurance, that is wrong. That is what the big companies want you to think, and it is a common misconception. With Cover Nash, you can get covered today, right now, no waiting, no gimmicks. You missed that open enrollment, no problem. You lost your job coverage. That stinks, but Shane can help you out. If you're sick of overpriced junk insurance, or you want to ask the question, do I have overpriced junk insurance? You're in the right place. You can talk to Shane today. Cover Nash partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, ACA-compliant plans with free preventative care. Whether it's just for yourself, the whole family, you're self-employed, or you got a small business with some employees, Shane has a plan for you. Stop overpaying, stop waiting, stop thinking you're stuck. Pick up the phone and call Cover Nash. 615-465-0023, 615-465-0023, or find them online, covernash.com.
Federal officials are cracking down on hospital pricing in Middle Tennessee. We'll tell you all about it coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. What's up, Ken? How we doing, man?
I'm doing all right, Brother Chris Hand. How are you and Brother Mace?
I'm good. Hey, did you hear how Joan handled the newscast this morning with professionalism in class?
She does it about every half hour.
So I don't know if you could have ever done this.
Okay.
I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you. Joan's in the middle of a newscast.
Yeah.
And Mason and Sam are doing their normal switch over, right?
Right.
Where they do their ceremonial handshake, hug, and squeeze.
Again, to clarify, the squeeze is on the shoulder.
Okay. So they do the hug and the squeeze. And then Mason goes to switch over. Because this is how it works, just to peel back the curtain for everybody. Every show has their own page of hotkeys, right?
Yes, sir.
So they're in the middle of the newscast, and Mason accidentally fires off a hotkey that says this.
Every Peanuts book known to man. Every Peanuts book known to man.
In the middle of Joan's newscast.
Every Peanuts book known to man.
Now, Dan Mandis would like me to clarify, he is saying peanuts.
I was kidding.
As in Charles Schultz, Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and the like. But he kind of Elmer Fudded it, so it was saved as a hotkey by Sam. And that's what Mason accidentally hits while Joan is, I think she was like about to go into the story about the poor woman with the dogs.
No, she's going into the story about a passing radio personality.
Oh, and he hit this.
Every Peanuts book known to man.
And I thought
Hashtag trendsetter, baby.
I thought to myself, thank God it was Joan. There was no way Ken would have been able to recover.
Unfortunately, it was not the wah, 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 wah.
Well, I was like, man, it could have been, if it was my page, it could have been like a paper horn or something.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't have been as bad.
Right.
And then everybody started texting in and they're like, did Dan leave his mic on? Dan, your mic is on.
Every Peanuts book known to man.
They're like, Dan, are you telling us about your reading list on vacation?
Sam has collected a lot of blackmail on Dan.
Yeah, you don't want to piss off Sam, just in case you're keeping score at home.
Oh, my goodness.
I would love a piece of that wood.
And just in the middle.
All right, boys. I'm getting too close to my newscast right now.
He's just got to do the news, boys.
I just got to do the...
Hold on, one more.
And I'm trying to put it in, and I just can't get it in.
Oh.
There's probably about 3 hours compiled of this stuff.
Oh, absolutely. This is not even the worst of it.
That's the PG stuff. So.
Oh, my goodness.
We would like to publicly apologize once again for messing up Joan's newscast earlier.
And she kept it together, didn't she?
Oh, my gosh.
She's a champ.
Total pro. Me, Mason, and Sam were dying laughing.
Oh, sure.
None of us could even control ourselves, but Joan handled the newscast like a total pro.
That's way to go, Sister Joan Jones.
Yep, salute to Joan.
You guys have everything.
I literally thought there's no way Ken could have survived that.
No, absolutely.
No. That would have, and unfortunately, just like with Joan, it would have been right before a very serious story.
I know. So we told Mason and Sam to chill on the squeeze and just focus on the show.
Shoulder squeeze.
Chill on the squeeze.
11:30, Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Federal officials are cracking down on hospital pricing, sending warning letters to 519 facilities, including multiple in Middle Tennessee. Locally, warnings were issued to Ascension St. Thomas Midtown, Trousdale Medical Center in Hartsville, Sumner Regional in Gallatin, while Williamson Medical Center and a specialty St. Thomas facility in Nashville face stricter compliance requirements. The administration says hidden or unclear pricing contributes to higher health care costs for patients. Hospitals that don't fix the issue risk penalties reaching $2 million a year. Here in Middle Tennessee, Casey Bledsoe in White House telling Channel 4, flooding reached 4 feet of water in some parts of her neighborhood during yesterday's severe storms. She says her family's tired of it. She says flooding often gets into their basement and damages ductwork there.
We flooded probably 15 times or more. The city needs to do something about this. City, county, whoever's responsible for digging the ditches and just getting the floodwaters to drain normally instead of just flooding us.
She says her family may have to move despite their home being in her family for decades. Well, a proposed pause on new data centers in Nashville moving forward after clearing its first Metro Council vote. The moratorium follows growing backlash, including hundreds of thousands of signatures against a project near the Nashville Zoo. Zoo officials warn noise, lights, and vibration could harm sensitive animal habitats. The ordinance now heads to 2 more readings before it can take effect. And a 25-year-old woman is facing a felony charge after an alleged incident with a minor in Ashland City. Investigators say Tuesday, Rosemary Dotson, who's 25, met a 16-year-old boy at a motel. They later allegedly went into a room where they had sex. Authorities say that she knew the teen was underage and allegedly threatened him if he spoke out. In Tennessee, statutory rape's a Class E felony carrying a possible 1 to 6 year prison sentence. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand for my friends at United Structural Systems. Now, if you've been putting off foundation or concrete repairs because it's going to cost a lot, you're not alone. But here's the reality. Your home doesn't wait for things to get cheaper. And if you got cracks in your walls, uneven floors, sinking driveways, those problems only get worse with time. Now, this is why you can trust United Structural Systems. These guys have been doing the work since 1994 in Tennessee, and they do things differently. No pressure, no gimmicks, no sales guy worried about their quotas, just honest inspections and real solutions that fix the problem right away. And these guys, they're not going to break the bank. From foundation stabilization to crawl space repair to concrete leveling, USS is going to focus on long-term results, not quick patches, and they're making things easier. When you wait, the problem gets worse, the problem gets more expensive. Right now, they're making it easier to act with 24 months, no interest financing now through the end of June. Fix it now, pay for it later. From our friends at USS. Visit USSTN.com or call 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, United Structural Systems, USSTN.com. 37 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got a lot to get to. This is my last show for a while. I'm nervous, though. I'll be honest with you. And this is like, I would never do this to the other guys. Like, I've filled in for Dan before. I've filled in for Matt before. And I always make sure that I do a terrible job. You know, because I don't want anybody to be like, wow, Chris should have Dan's show, or Chris should have. So I make sure I screw it up. But here's the issue that I'm faced with. Brian Wilson's filling in for me and Joan Jones is filling in for me. So, I mean, there's no guarantee that I even come back to a job, you know?
I love the Brother Chris Hand bumper music whenever Brian is on.
Dude, he sounds sick with the bumper music.
Yes, sir.
He should have. I was telling him when he was doing the drive, I was like, yo, you need some Mobb Deep. And he was like, I don't know, Chris. What is a Mobb Deep? And I said, I can explain it to you, but we're going to need some time.
Nobody can touch the Brother Chris Hand bumper music.
No, and a lot of people only listen to the show for the bumper music. I appreciate those individuals. But, yeah, I mean, Jones filling in for me. Brian's filling in for me. I feel like I'm screwed. Like, we don't... I really was hoping that they could have just gotten anyone else.
Your days are numbered.
I know. It's I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back to a...
You could have run, dude, like a lightning round best of.
I know, but I'm gone for like 10 days.
Oh, so. Well.
I'm off on Thursday and Friday, and then I'm off all next week. And I'm really excited. We have not had like a legit vacation in a while. We're going to go to St. Croix.
You're going to be able to spend some good time with family.
Dude, and the best part is like, even if I wanted to be on my phone,
yes, sir,
on that island, there's no cell phone service.
Oh, dude.
So like, I'm really going to be able to disconnect. I'm downright giddy. And yeah, we're going to have some great time. The last time we went, we were joking. We were like, it always happens. We always go to St. Croix and there's always something big happening behind the scenes. And it's like, the last time we went, we thought we might be moving to Arizona for Turning Point USA.
Yeah.
Because my wife's parents live out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the time before that, when we went, we got married out there. And then this time, my niece is actually graduating high school. And get this, she is going to West Point, which is just pretty sick.
Wow.
And I did some research, and I could not find... And I'm not 100% on this, but I'm like 99.9. I could not find another female that has gone to West Point who was born and raised in the Virgin Islands. So she very well may be the first female West Point student. Would you call it a cadet? I think you might call it a cadet. But the first female to attend West Point from the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
It's pretty cool. So there's always something big going on whenever we go there. So we're going to do the graduation. The entire side of my wife's family is going to be in town on the island, and we're giddy, man. We're really excited.
That's the way to go, Brother Chris Hand.
So we're very excited. We wouldn't miss it to the world. Congratulations to my niece Anna. Very proud of you. Super cool. That's where my wife's father went to school, was West Point. Which is, I'm like nudging the boys. I'm like, hey. Now you need to get a congressperson to sign off. And I was like, I know a few. I know one that drops a dad gum. I'd say, would you like to sign this dad gum recommendation letter, sir? Maybe.
Hand me the dad gum pen.
Here's the first thing that my son asked. He said, "Well, can I play baseball there?" So I think you can.
I think you can.
I know that you could play football. I wouldn't be shocked if you could play baseball. I'm pretty sure they have a baseball team.
I think Army does have a baseball team.
I would imagine. Yeah, why wouldn't they? Right.
Right. They got football.
Yeah, but I hope and pray no soccer. So, that would be just un-American, you know? Yuck. I had a hot take this morning.
Yeah.
Soccer's more fun to watch on TV than golf.
It's almost the same.
Fight me. I'm just saying. Hey, it's time for the lightning round, everybody. Lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
We do it every every day at this time. And Joan said, when I fill in for you, can I steal the lightning round? I said, please steal the lightning round. I said, Mason will be delayed with the lightning.
Well, I didn't know if I should hit it then.
Well, anytime I say lightning, that's when you say yeah. I warned her, don't worry.
There's a delay on that.
Don't worry, I warned her. The storm might be off in the distance. First story in the lightning round.
Just watch it for the hand.
Here's the thing. I want to be on the record. I don't like license plate readers.
I don't either.
I'm just not a fan. It's just like I'm just waiting for them to turn into like our digital overlords. And then I see what they're doing in Europe with them. You see what they did in London? They called them the ULEZs, the ultra low emission zones. So London is an ultra low emission zone. And so they use the license plate reader. And if your car is from a land before time, when, it's from a distant past of the 90s or the early 2000s, and it's not good on emissions, well, those license plate readers log you, and then they ding you with a tax. They give you a fee for driving that vehicle, that old, beaten down car that's ruining the environment in London. So you get taxed for it, and I don't like it, and I'm just not a fan. I'm not. But then this is what happens. I'm a man of there's duality to this conversation. I also get upset when liberals want to eliminate them because they want to protect illegal aliens. And that's exactly what's happening in Columbia Heights, Minnesota, don't you know, where the city council there has voted to remove the license plate readers to shield illegal aliens. And I find myself on the side of the license plate reader people. Like, well, no, you're not allowed to do that. I just don't want them to hit me at a red light. That's what I don't want. I'm very selfish. This is the local CBS report from Minnesota.
Mayor Amatha Marcus Simula is worried could fall into the wrong hands.
The main fear is that the federal government, federal agents can get to all this data and that we don't know who's using it, that no one's asking for warrants for this information.
The mayor says the unanimous decision to cancel the contract was made during a recent work session. A spokesperson with Flock says their technology has made a measurable public safety impact, assisting in about 20% of solved cases where the tech is deployed while helping locate more than 10,000
So they're getting rid of it because they don't want federal agents to have the data for illegal aliens. And now I find myself being like, well, no, that's fine. I just don't want it harming regular citizens. Is that wrong? Is that come on. There's shades to this stuff. Am I wrong? I don't know.
I just love your takes over the past couple of days.
I'm just so torn on this one.
I agree with you on this one. I'm just thinking over what's been talked about over the past 3 days.
What have my takes been?
Anti-zoo, pro-caged animals.
Yes. I'm anti-zoo, but I'm pro-captivity. I am anti-license plate reader for American citizens, pro-license plate reader for illegal aliens. I don't want the federal government to have this data if they're going to tax me, but I do want them to have the data if they're going to get the illegals out of the country.
You're pro-caging them up.
I'm pro-cage. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. Dude, this one is badass. I'm not going to lie. This is cool. Now, let me preface it with the officer is fine, okay? This is from a couple weeks ago. We just got the footage circulating online yesterday from a dash cam video where an officer is in a police chase in Missouri, and he does a pit maneuver. And as he's doing the pit maneuver, like when he kind of teased the car, the driver of that vehicle opens fire on the officer, missing him. But this video is so badass on so many levels. Check this out. It's a Bronco. Boom. He's going to do the pit.
Shots fired! Shots fired, shots fired, shots fired.
So it's like as soon as he did the pit maneuver, right, and the car gets turned around, the driver of the vehicle is then shooting through the passenger side of the officer's cruiser. And it looked like, I don't know, you tell me, It looked like this car had already been hit with spike strips because it looks like that front wheel is riding on a rim. So, boom, pit maneuver, car's T-bone, car's turned around, shots fired.
Shots fired! Jeff, shots fired, shots fired, shots fired.
Now, this story does have a happy ending. The officer was not hit. The suspect shot at him multiple times. And according to authorities, the suspect was being chased because he allegedly shot multiple people, killing one. But in the dash cam footage, you see the passenger window of the police cruiser getting hit by a bullet, and then the back passenger side window, I believe, gets hit as well. Police say, this is the happy ending, when they approached the car, the suspect was found deceased from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And nothing of value was lost. Got another story for you here inside the lightning round. Okay, you think that cop was badass? Get ready for this. I think actually the cop was more badass. I don't think these two are comparable.
It's hard to pass that up.
But this one's pretty cool. So they were doing tornado coverage in a Arkansas studio, right? Tornadoes are breaking out across Arkansas, and during the coverage, the severe weather coverage, a fire breaks out in the newsroom. Okay?
Northward across Sebastian County.
You start waving smoke off.
Keep doing your thing, Trevor. Yeah, if it gets a little foggy here on camera, it's because we have a light on fire in the studio. But again, we're looking at this tornado warning right now.
There's smoke filling up everything. Now,
Greenwood.
You can only see it on the news, man.
Because we just had a little fire in the studio, but you got to keep doing your job, folks.
He's like, he's doing tornado coverage. The studio is on fire. Then he pulls up his shirt. He starts breathing through his shirt. And he keeps doing tornado coverage. I mean, this is wild. You see how smoky it is in there?
Okay, folks, if anyone can hear me, I got fire, smoke, but we still got to keep tracking this tornado warning. So if anyone can hear me, we're still tracking this warning through Sebastian County. Let's look at our storm relative velocity here. If we're in Fort Smith area, luckily our rotations come down a little bit.
I mean, if you're watching on Super Talk TV, the green screen that he's standing in front of, like you can see the map image perfectly clear, but where he's standing in front of it, he is completely clouded by smoke. He looks like one of the hidden cameras on an old school, a hidden character on an old school video game. You know, it's cloudy. Like, ooh, who could that be? But how wild is that? He keeps going.
It's going to be roughly, and it's kind of hard to see where the rotation is, but
yeah, because the studio is full of smoke, sir.
This tornado, when it continues to kind of lift its way north. Luckily, there was a little bit less rotation here. Excuse me. It has slowly lifted its way northward. There's not as much rotation across the radar site and across South Fort Smith. You guys are still included in that tornado warning.
But that is just wild. The reporter is there. The meteorologist is Noah Simmons. So big shout out to Noah. He should get a Medal of Honor for that. Keeping people safe. Tornadoes are going on. And he continues with the newscast despite a fire breaking out in the studio. Just crazy. Live tornado reporting as a fire breaks out. Absolutely based. I would have ran out. I would have been like, deuces. Sorry. I know. Probably shouldn't do that, but.
Bro, saving lives.
Yeah. Can somebody open a window? Can somebody open a window for our guy?
Please.
I mean, dude, you've seen those news studios.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We've been in a bunch of local ones around town. Like, I've been in the Fox 17 studio. I've been in the WSMV studio. I mean, these are windowless rooms. So you don't know what's going on outside those doors. And he's like, we're gonna keep reporting. Based. That does it for the lightning round. We'll be back to check in with Chad, see what he's got coming up on his show. And we appreciate you guys. 11:52, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it is here, I think we could do a lot of good by trying to terminate your downspouts a little further from the house there.
Okay.
Roof water is the killer of foundations, and so if we can just get it to a positive grade to drain away from your house, I think that's real cheap insurance.
You want to kind of get it out and downhill.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
make sure that it doesn't come right back down towards the foundation walls and causing issues, settlement or leakage.
Now, if folks are watching this video and they are like, we need to get Nate out to the house to do a look. I mean, it took, I watched you do it. It's, 30, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
To do a comprehensive kind of an examination around the house. And they just give you a call and schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our main phone number, or you can call reach USSTN.com and schedule right through the website there. Our girls in the call center will get back to you just about immediately, as long as it's during business hours. So
this just makes a lot of sense, folks, for you guys to do an examination of your house like we've done, to check it out. I'm going to get those gutters done with Nate and his team at USS, and then we'll do a video and let you know how those look at the end of all of this. So thank you, guys.
Hey, that'd be great.
We appreciate you, brother.
Matt,
All
we
right.
appreciate you.
It's 11:57, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. We got Mason Fleming producing. We got Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Chad Benson's in studio. Did you hear what happened during the changing of the guard between Mason and Sam this morning?
I did not.
During Jones'
Every time.
newscast? I have to tell new people because I know you're not going to do it.
Did you break something? Guy who quits guy?
So they do a ceremonial handshake, hug, and a squeeze. And
It's a squeeze on the shoulder. You don't say that.
it's a squeeze. You acknowledge that it's a squeeze.
Yeah, but there's an implication there, Chris.
I'm just describing.
He's not saying he grabbed your ass. He said there was a squeeze involved.
There was a squeeze. So during this, they I think it was a little bit too long of a squeeze this morning. But they're changing over the guard, and in the middle of Jones' newscast, Mason always switches the hotkey page, right?
Yes.
Switches it from Dan's to mine. But apparently, I mean, maybe he was locked on Sam's eyes a bit too much because he accidentally hit this.
Every Peanuts book known to man.
During a very serious newscast from Joan Jones.
Every Peanuts book known to man.
Now, let the record show, Dan is talking about peanuts.
Not penis.
Yes. Charlie Brown, not.
The enunciation.
Yep.
Peanuts. But it came out something else.
He played it during Jones' newscast.
How'd that work
Every
out?
Peanuts book known to man.
Well, I made the case to Ken when I told him about it that I think we're all lucky for the professionalism and class of Joan Jones because she didn't react, she didn't flub, she didn't flounder.
That's that DC in her right there.
She just kept going.
Yeah.
She was just a total pro.
That's why I love Ken. Ken would have just started laughing, and we didn't laugh for 10 minutes.
Ken had to delay his newscast after I told him the story.
It took 10 seconds for me to start.
That's okay. Because of every Peanuts book known to man?
Because of every Peanuts book known to man.
Amen,
every
brother.
Peanuts book known to man.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if my newscast went wah, 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 wah.
What are you talking about today on the show?
Oh, talking about your vacation, man.
People.
So are you tanned, and are you going to be tanned when you get back?
No, I will be sunburned and hurting.
Oh, one of those.
That's what I go for. What I try to do is I try to get the sunburn out of the way early.
Early.
I'm going to get sunburned day one, so that way I can enjoy the end of the vacation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You got to outthink the sun.
What are you going to do out there?
A lot of nothing.
That's a wonderful thing.
My niece's graduation.
Yeah.
She's going to West Point, so we're very excited about that.
Very exciting.
And then we're just going to be beach hopping.
That's so nice, dude.
Can't
just
wait.
Chilling. I mean, how's the weather out there?
85 every day.
Oh,
and sunny. Yeah, I know. It could be worse.
How could you do that, sir?
Could be worse. Hey, have fun with Joe next week. Brian Wilson will fill in for me tomorrow. Please, watch him on YouTube, but don't like the shows as much as you would like mine because I need to know.
We got to pay for this.
Yeah, I mean, I need to know I have a job when I get back. So enjoy Joan, but not as much. Not as much.
A smidge.
Just a hair. Appreciate you. Chad's in next, 12 o'clock, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.